Over the years, there's been a lot of Lovecraftian games, from Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth to The Sinking City, and each argument that I always see is how madness is portrayed in games, how to effectively portray that madness, and how most of the time it's usually underwhelming and it fails and it doesn't quite reach the effects that Lovecraft has with his writing. Those games tend to focus more on the supernatural aspect, the actual Cthulhu element in the Cthulhu mythos, be it fish people from Innsmouth, crazy cults, an overwhelming sense of dread, a dark, foreboding, horrific atmosphere that eventually plunges into ancient ruins and sleeping cities. Those more fantastical elements of Lovecraft stories. But every Lovecraft story, whether it be Dagon to Call of Cthulhu, even to The Rats in the Walls, that one single thread throughout each of his stories is the element of madness. Whether you be a sane man in the beginning and slowly descending towards madness at the end, or you are completely insane for the entire story, you are, without a doubt, mad in some way, shape, or form. I simply bring this up because portraying madness in a game is quite difficult. No game has really seemed to get it 100% correctly, but they've gotten really close. There's no argument there. Dark Corners of the Earth is one of my favorite games, and the insane aspect or the slowly descending into madness is done quite well in that game, as well as the reboot of Call of Cthulhu, and I hear The Sinking City is also good. But there's one game that always seems to go under the radar when it comes to portraying madness, and how I think it's the only one that's really gotten it right. It's gotten it 100% correctly, and the way they execute it is, for lack of a better word, perfect. And that is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Published by Nintendo and developed by Silicon Knights, the creators of the Legacy of Kain series, it was released for the GameCube in 2002. The story sees Alex Roivas, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, investigating her grandfather's mansion after he is mysteriously murdered.
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LeGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
She stumbles across an ancient book, the
Tome of Eternal Darkness,
and slowly uncovers a plot of eldritch horrors and dark gods. The biggest draw to this game upon its release, and even today, is its sanity system, represented by a green bar. The more that bar drops, the more your sanity withers, and if it reaches 0,
then let the madness take hold of you.
Deep into that darkness pit.
This isn't really happening. You are Santa.
There's no overstating how great this system really is and how great it works. From your save files being corrupted to the game abruptly ending to black screens, blood seeping out of the walls, it all changes depending on how high or low your sanity bar is. From this system alone, we can already see where the other Lovecraftian games go wrong with their madness. Most Lovecraft stories are written in the first person. I go here, I go there, I do this, I do that. And most Lovecraftian games follow that tradition. They put you in a first-person perspective for that narrative, attempting to transfer those words on a page to a game screen. But what Eternal Darkness does, and does really well, is it understands you're playing a game. It understands that you're watching cutscenes, you have a pause screen, you have these bars that indicate your health, your magic, and your sanity, and how it represents its madness is by breaking the fourth wall. You, as that player, in your first-person perspective, are playing, or in this case, reading a Lovecraftian story. What better way to make someone go mad and experience madness than corrupting their save file, blacking their screen out, trying to enchant your sword but you die randomly? Yup. Booting you back to the start screen? Yup. It's a perfect way of keeping you, as the player who's playing a video game, immersed in this world, as well as capturing that madness that the Cthulhu mythos is known for. Now, the madness system isn't the only good thing about this game. You have an interesting combat system. You can pick or choose to aim where you want to attack, whether it be the head, the body, or the arms of your enemies, incapacitating them or killing them outright. The other big positive is that this is a Silicon Knights game, the creators of Legacy of Kain, so you expect it to have really great writing, right? Well, it does. Each of the cutscenes and dialogue is written expertly, not to mention you have veteran Richard Doyle from the Legacy of Kain series coming back for this one as Pius Augustus, the main villain. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I was upon hearing his voice in this game and my reactions.
My master has planned many millennia for this day. It is the true chaos of all things that you now must be entombed amongst the beings of flesh and bone.
Thy reign be kept over the ancients you have kept imprisoned. Thou hast seen the last of this world. So, you are reduced to feeding on flesh and bone, Mantarok. How the mighty have fallen. Fool! You should have run. Instead you will die. Where is the essence of Mantarok?
The one negative aspect of this game is, playing it in 2019, I have to use an emulator. And in that regard, it kind of downplays the effects that playing it on a GameCube would have. In the long run, Eternal Darkness is amazing, and everyone who hasn't played it yet should probably play it. If you are a Lovecraft fan and you want a taste of what true madness is like, play Eternal Darkness, if those other games didn't just quite do it for you. I'm actually still really surprised that Eternal Darkness and its sanity system and how it affects you hasn't been ripped off more, and I kind of wish it was, because it's just so good. A sequel to Eternal Darkness, Shadows of the Eternal, was being worked on, but that has been put on hold right now for Apocalypse Studios' upcoming game Dead House Sonata. Hopefully after Dead House Sonata's release, Shadows of the Eternal will finally see the light of day.